What's going on, YouTube? It's the Bushy Beard, and I'm back, and I'm bushier than ever. And right now, we got a new video. We got datGuy Bry.
Hello.
We're gonna do a riddles video to see who is the smartest of us all.
Well, you put me on the spot here. You know, I didn't have a lot of sleep. I worked all day.
Did you? out in the hot sun in Florida?
Yeah.
You know what you need?
What?
A coldest water bottle. Yes, that's right. This video is brought to you by Coldest Water Bottle. It is the coldest bottle of water you'll ever drink. Here in Florida, it gets pretty hot, right?
Yeah.
Last week, I was out in the sun for 5 hours with this. And at the end of the 5 hours in the direct sun, it still had ice. Like, lots of ice in it, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you use code HOT at checkout, 10% off. Use the link down in the description, the first one. That will help out this channel. We'll get a little bit of a kickback if you buy something. Now is the time to get it. Trust me, summer is right around the corner, and you need cold water when you can get it.
I will say that I am not a person who drinks water. I have a really bad habit of not drinking it. I'll drink anything else but water.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got one of those bottles, I've been drinking a ton of water, and it's apparently supposed to be healthy for you, but I do feel better drinking more water.
And that's another thing. I just gave up sodas. I haven't had a soda in like 2 weeks now, and it's because I carry this around and have cold water wherever I go. Like, there's a difference between water and cold water.
Right.
Like,
I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
I think it's because it's cold.
Yeah. So, anyways, remember, use code word HOT at checkout for 10% off. Again, use the link in the description. It helps out the channel. Without further ado, let Bushy win.
All right, there we go.
Oliver was attacked in his flat and taken to the hospital. There are 4 suspects, all of them Oliver's neighbors. Wow, I'd find another apartment. Amelia said she'd been walking in the park since early morning. Henry explained he had been painting in his studio and had heard nothing. Jacob said he had been repairing his car. Sophia answered she'd been taking a bath for the past 3 hours. Look at these people's hands and try to figure out who's lying.
Their hands?
Okay, so first, she was, what did she say, walking in the park all day?
Was that the ones in the bath? One of them was in the bath.
Okay, yeah. One of those two were in the bath. One was walking all morning, right?
Yeah.
One was working on his car, and the other has been in the art studio.
Was painting, yes.
Now, I know who it is.
Just by looking at the hands?
No, not even by looking at the hands, but I know who it is.
Or where was the guy attacked from?
Didn't say.
It didn't say? We're just supposed to
But
guess?
here, we'll go back.
One of the 4?
I think I have an idea.
Oliver was attacked in his flat and taken to the hospital. There are 4 suspects, all of them Oliver's neighbors. Wow, I'd find another apartment. Amelia said she'd been walking in the park since early morning. Henry explained he had been painting in his studio and had heard nothing. Jacob said he had been repairing his car. Sophia answered she'd been taking a bath for the past 3 hours. Look at these people's hands and try to figure out who's lying.
Oh, you know what? I changed my pick. I know who it is now.
Well, if if that girl's been in the bath for the last 3 hours and she's just fresh out of the shower, where are the?
That's what I was thinking.
Where's the raisin?
It's not pruned.
Yeah.
My thinking originally was she said she was walking in the park all morning, but it's only 10 o'clock, so it's not all morning.
Right.
At
first I thought because it was she's not sweaty. If she's been walking all day, then
that's
true.
She
would be sweaty.
But I think it's her because it'd be pruned.
It's a bit strange that Jacob,
no paint on the hand,
who was repairing his car, and Henry, who was painting, both have such clean hands. But they could be wearing gloves. On the other hand, Sophia's hands and fingers don't have wrinkles. But it would be a natural skin reaction after 3 hours in a bathtub. Sophia, you've been caught smooth-handed.
I don't think that's going to hold up in court, will it?
No.
The police found out there was a new smuggler in town. 3 people were under suspicion. Luna, a school bus driver, Jackson, a fire truck driver, and Daniel, an ambulance driver. All of them claimed to have been busy with their work since the very morning. Can you figure out who's the smuggler?
Okay, so there's a smuggler in town, and it's one of those three.
Okay, say what? Let me watch it over again.
The police found out there was a new smuggler in town. 3 people were under suspicion: Luna, a school bus driver; Jackson, a fire truck driver; and Daniel, an ambulance driver. All of them claimed to have been busy with their work since the very morning. Can you figure out who's the smuggler?
All morning, they said?
Yeah.
Is there a clock to tell me what time it is?
No. See, to me, it could be one of two.
Well, it can't be the firefighter guy.
I know who I think it is.
One, the firefighter guy is strange because usually they're in their base or headquarters, whatever, until there's a ambulance, something, an emergency.
I think I know who it is.
Hold on. Let me really think this out.
Yeah.
The guy on the far left, he's only temporary. The guy on the right, I mean, it's a uniform plays a part. Why is he wearing that uniform?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like a firefighter could be changes into his uniform quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody in the ambulance is always in a uniform.
Right.
And a school bus driver doesn't have a uniform.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
so
I'm
the
gonna say
ambulance is a little sus.
Yeah. I need to get bored so that we can write it down.
Yeah.
Let's see who gets it right.
Look at the car Daniel drives. On such vehicles, the word ambulance is normally written backward. It's done so that other
We were right.
drivers can instantly read the inverted word in their rearview mirrors. Well, it seems Daniel has given himself away.
Just knew he was him.
Yeah. I mean, he also doesn't have a uniform on, right?
It was the day when Jacob was supposed to be discharged from the hospital. He had spent a couple of months there and underwent several surgeries. His doctor told him he was going to be fine. It was safe for Jacob to leave the hospital. But the guy didn't believe these promises. In low spirits, he walked home. On the way, he accidentally bumps into an elderly lady. She gets furious and started to shout at Jacob. But instead of arguing back, he hugged the woman and ran home. Why?
I missed a lot there.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I zoned out for a second.
That's me every 5 seconds.
Okay.
Discharged from the hospital himself away. It was the day when Jacob was supposed to be discharged from the hospital. He had spent a couple of months there and underwent several surgeries. His doctor told him he was going to be fine. It was safe for Jacob to leave the hospital.
Okay, so been in it for a couple of months. Safe to leave the hospital. He didn't believe it.
But the guy didn't believe these promises. In low spirits, he walked home. On the way, he accidentally bumps into an elderly lady. She gets furious and started to shout at Jacob. But instead of arguing back, he hugged the woman and ran home. Why?
Why is this bandage right there on the lower jaw?
Probably was a jaw surgery and it has to be held in place. I don't know.
Everything's gonna be fine. I think that plays a part. It's either gonna be something with his senses. Either it's because he's seeing, hearing. He couldn't speak. He couldn't say anything. He just hugged her.
But what would it be that bumping into her would do? I have zero clue.
I think it's his. I think it's because he heard her. I think it's because he was deaf. That's what I'm thinking.
But he understood what the doctor was saying.
You got a point. Let's watch the beginning again. Let me see.
Sorry, guys. You're gonna watch
Daniel has given himself away. It was the day when Jacob was supposed to be discharged from the hospital. He had spent a couple of months there and underwent several surgeries.
All right, so several months in the hospital, the day he was supposed to be discharged.
Right.
several surgeries.
His doctor told him he was going to be fine. It was safe for Jacob to leave the hospital. But the guy didn't believe these promises.
Why does he call him the guy instead of Jacob? Like, that's weird to me.
The guy didn't believe.
The promises.
Maybe.
In low spirits, he walked home. On the way, he accidentally bumps into an elderly lady. She gets furious and started to shout at Jacob. But instead of arguing back, he hugged the woman and ran home. Why?
I got nothing.
That's so strange.
Maybe the feeling of touch.
It's something with the senses. It's got to be something.
I don't know if it has to do with the senses, but what would be bumping into?
Like, why wouldn't you believe that everything was going to be fine?
Depression?
Unless it was a sex change, and then was formerly
no, I don't think that's
a woman, and then was happy because that was his grandma that he bumped to, and she didn't recognize her. Like, that's the only thing I don't think that's that.
I don't think that's the answer, but
I don't know.
Let's find out.
I hate it with these riddles because it's like it's at the edge of my mind, but I can't just.
Jacob had hearing loss. He didn't believe his problem could be helped. But when he heard the woman shouting at him, he realized the doctor had told him the truth.
That's so stupid.
Maybe the doctor should have shouted. Chloe stayed late at the office that day. When she was driving home, the woman was worn out. At one moment, she even started to doze off. That's when it happened. She spun off the road and crashed through the fence that was on her way. She couldn't control the car anymore. It slipped down a steep hill and ended up in a lake. Chloe couldn't move her arms. They were stuck. She couldn't undo her seatbelt or open the door. The car sank to the bottom of the lake. Was Chloe doomed? Rescuers arrived 3 hours later. The woman was still in the car, but she was alive. How did she survive?
I mean, it's gonna be something stupid like, oh, she had a scuba tank in the in the back seat or something.
Go back to the beginning. It was to give you clues at the beginning.
Yeah, I know.
Late night.
Exhausted.
Chloe stayed late at the office that day. When she was driving home, the woman was worn out. At one moment, she even started to doze off. That's when it happened. She spun off the road and crashed through the fence that was on her way. She couldn't control the car anymore. It slipped down a steep hill and ended up in a lake. Chloe couldn't move her arms. They were stuck. She couldn't undo her seatbelt or open the door. The car sank to the bottom of the lake. Was Chloe doomed?
Why would her arms be stuck?
Interesting. Why would her arms be stuck?
Airbags, maybe? Maybe the car didn't get filled up with water?
Would be an air pocket. Her arms are stuck at the bottom. The only thing I could think of is how there's in the ocean there's low tide and high tide. Maybe it's at the point of the lake, where it's has low water and and her head's still sticking up above water and it's not in the deep end of the lake.
You know what? There was a half moon, so I have something to feel like it has something to do with the tides.
Yeah. But that's weird because lakes don't really have tides.
Yeah, that's
unless
true.
it's with a dam.
Yeah.
Nearby or a river. But the only thing I can think of is it's a shallow lake.
Yeah.
And she was still survived.
Yeah, because normally water would start creeping in.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it would fill up right away. Maybe it didn't take 3 hours to fill up, but oxygen would be low.
Right.
Her arms were stuck. Why were her arms stuck? I think that has to do with it. I don't know.
Maybe the back end is if she can't move from her front seat, then never mind. I was thinking it was in forward.
Yeah.
So the back end still had air.
Yeah.
So she just climbed to the back. But if her arms are stuck.
Yeah.
I only think if it's shallow.
Rescuers arrived 3 hours later. The woman was still in the car, but she was alive. How did she survive?
She was able to hold her breath for 3 hours.
After the car hit the bottom of the lake, the water only came up to Chloe's throat. It was a very shallow lake.
So
Good thing,
dumb.
huh?
Because it didn't show that. It showed her sinking to the bottom.
That was very misleading.
Yes.
Very misleading. There's
Was
not a lot of answers to that riddle.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
No.
Jack's birthday, and the fellow got a present he had been dreaming about for ages, a motorbike. The next morning, he rode his bike to college and left it at the parking lot. During lunchtime, Jack decided to check on his motorbike. Imagine his horror when he found out someone had broken the mirrors. The security guard told Jack only 3 other people had left his building in the afternoon. They were Owen and Sam, 2 best friends, and Layla, the girl who once liked Jack but got turned down by him. Owen said he and Sam had gone to the campus cafe to get sandwiches for lunch. Sam confirmed this. He then added the bike could have been damaged by Layla out of revenge. But Layla told Jack her mother had visited her and they had spent 2 hours together. So, who's lying?
Those 2 dudes.
I'm thinking those 2 dudes too.
Food delivery.
Right.
That means food was delivered to them. They lied. That's what I'm going with.
I'm going with the 2 dudes. Stop. Because the only thing is, they're both pinning it on her.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Right.
Pretty sure there's like some sort of FBI lying thing when 2 people are. I don't know. Never mind. There's something here. I don't know. You're right. I'm gonna call that.
Owen has a paper bag with food delivery written on it. It means the guys ordered their lunch, not bought it in the cafe. They broke Jack's mirrors and tried to frame Layla. Not a good reflection on them, huh? Detective Taylor was chasing a dangerous criminal. Suddenly, the man entered a hospital. Oh no, there are hundreds of rooms there. Luckily, it was raining, and the criminal left footprints on the hospital floor. The detective followed them and got into a small room. There were 3 people there, all covered in bandages from head to toe. But one of them was a fake patient.
Yep.
Who?
I already know.
The guy who's wet and
The guy that has no
hair.
chart.
Yeah. Yeah. These are a little too easy.
These ones are, yeah.
It was the dude in the middle.
We had in the past were really thinkers.
Yeah.
He didn't even have a
Yeah.
medical chart next to his bed. Very quick job on the bandages, though. The CEO of a large company called the police. He was sure that one of his employees, Victoria, had stolen a memory card with secret information. She was going to sell it to their competitors. The police arrived at Victoria's house, but the woman didn't let them in without a warrant.
Smart. When police show up without a warrant, do not let them search. Knock. I'm a police. Open up. Let me in. What do you say?
No. Is that the correct answer?
Yeah.
Do you have a warrant?
That's a good answer. No, I don't. But
Okay.
I have the authority to anyways.
No. I believe that's wrong, sir.
Well, what says you?
The officers had to leave to get all the necessary papers. By the time they were back, Victoria had already been sitting in her car, ready to drive off. The police officers arrested the woman. They searched her car and clothes, but found nothing. And then, when they were about to give up, one of the detectives realized where Victoria kept the memory card. Can you figure it out?
I mean, her hands clenched.
That's the only thing. I'm looking at her hand. It's pretty clenched. It's like
Yeah.
oddly clenched.
Could be behind the necktie clip there. Her mouth looks pretty oddly clenched. Maybe
Yeah,
her hair.
I zoned out for a good bit of that, so I'm assuming it's one of those answers. It's either in her mouth or clenched.
I'm gonna say it's behind her tie
Why would you not the tie?
because it has that clip, and that would be a great place to hide it. Could be her hand though too.
When the police first came to her, the woman had her hair down. But after that, Victoria changed her hairstyle. The memory card is in her bun. Yep, Victoria and her sticky bun.
That was one of my answers.
I zoned out, so.
Michael was going home from the gym when everything went black. When he regained consciousness, he found out he was in a locked room. Next to the door, there was a computer with a keyboard. On the screen, there was a riddle. Michael had to write the correct answer and the door would open. The riddle went like this. It makes two people out of one. What is it? Michael typed the needed word and the door opened. He was free to go. What was the answer?
It makes two people out of one?
It makes two people. I'm thinking money, like 5 cents or like 10 cents and 2 nickels. One or two, like whoever that is on the face of the change. It makes two people out of one.
I'm thinking that might be way out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stick with me.
All right, I'm sticking.
The world is flat. No, Siamese twins come from one egg.
It makes two twins.
Not Siamese twins, but identical twins come from one egg.
It makes two people out of one. That sounds like it. Twins.
Yeah.
It makes two people out of one.
I mean, God also did by taking Adam's rib.
I'm gonna go with twins, but it makes two people out of one. I'm trying to think like of a thing that has people in it. It's gonna be something clever. If it is something, it's gonna be like super clever.
Yeah. Two people
out of one. It makes two people out of one.
I have no idea. Other than
couple? Oh, no.
That makes two people one.
It makes two people one. Yeah. That's the opposite.
Divorce.
It makes two people out of one. Siamese twins. The only thing I can think of is just twins.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
It's a mirror. Ah.
God.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily make two people. It makes a reflection of one.
That's dirty. That one was dirty. That one was dirty.
Yeah, that's clever.
Oh, I was guessing a buzzsaw, but this one is better and not as messy. Two best friends, Emily and Luna, came to a popular and expensive hair salon. At first, the administrator told the girls they had just one available hairstylist. But after making a phone call, she happily announced she had found another hairdresser. Emily and Luna could have their hair done at the same time. But in the process, it dawned on the girls that one of the hairstylists was fake. Which one?
That one.
Yeah, in the far left. Yeah, I don't. What's she doing with that? Like seriously.
Look at the can.
Is it like bug spray?
Yeah, bug spray.
Like what is she?
Yeah, it's not hairspray. It's bug spray. So that would be the fake one to me.
I mean, that's this one's too easy.
Yeah.
Both hairstylists are using regular scissors, but instead of hairspray, the one on the left is holding a can of bug spray. Yeah, that's a big clue right there. A man on a bike grabbed Sarah's bag with all her documents, money, and smartphone and sped off. The only way the girl can get her bag back is by taking someone's car and driving after the criminal. There are 3 vehicles parked nearby. Which one can Sarah break into and drive off? Borrow.
Okay, first of all, she's gonna hotwire the cars?
Yeah.
Which one she can get into and drive off? Why don't you just ask that guy for help on the far left?
Yeah, you could do that. I think I know the answer. I mean, there's 2 possible answers for this one, I feel like. One is that one, just say, hey, can I borrow your car real quick? But there's another one that I think is possible.
I mean, one of them is her car.
That's possible.
That could be her boyfriend in that car, actually, in the far left.
Could be.
Or her husband. Which one?
You want to know what my other one I think is?
The only one she can take is this one because there's no camera pointing.
Yeah, that's
at
the
that
other
one.
That's what I'm going to say, the brown
I feel
one.
like the pragmatic version is to ask that guy for help.
Yeah.
He seems like a nice dude.
Yeah, he's smiling.
Seems friendly, you know?
A man is sitting in the blue car. That's no good. If she decides to take the red car, CCTV will spot her. Her only option is the brown vehicle.
I don't think that's her only option.
Yeah, that's not her only option. All I'm going to say is 2 rights don't make a wrong. Or 2 wrongs don't make a right. Like, she got her stuff stolen. The next possible thing is not to steal something else.
Right. That's how it works.
Oh, and Sarah, don't forget to return the wheels when you get your bag back. Otherwise, you'll be Grand Theft Sarah. Mary and her younger...
I mean, you are Grand Theft Sarah.
I think she could have just asked, and that would have helped. He seemed nice.
Yeah, he seemed like a good guy.
Brother Alex were mushroom hunting in the forest. Wait, mushroom hunting? What do? Sneak up on them so they don't escape? Anyway, they started a quarrel. Alex got angry and ran away. After several minutes, Mary rushed after him. She was still fuming, but also worried. Soon, the girl reached a small river. A man was sitting on the shore. Did you see a teenager here? Mary asked. Yep, he's just taken a boat and made it to the other side. But Mary didn't believe the man. Why?
Because there's no paddle on the boat.
Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah.
He ate them.
The boat is indeed on the other side, but the paddles are lying next to the man. How could the boy cross the river without them? So, where's Alex? Kidnapped by the escaped mushrooms? We may never know. Ella came to a party that took place in her best friend's house. It was a riddle party. All the guests had to crack mysteries and participate in different challenges. Ella's task was to get out of a locked room in the basement. The girl was blindfolded, taken downstairs, and left alone. After pulling the piece of cloth off her eyes, Ella noticed the door had a code lock. She also spotted a sheet of paper lying on the floor next to the door. There were 4 flowers drawn there. Ella looked at them for a while and entered the correct code. The door opened and the girl joined the party. So, what was the code?
Oh, it's the numbers of petals.
5,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7, probably 8, 4.
Yeah, just follow the petals.
Yeah.
Ella counted the petals on each flower. The code was 5748.
That was easy.
Carter was visiting his friend Mateo, who lived in another city. Mateo loved riddles. In the evening, he challenged Carter to get the key to the guest room where the guy was supposed to be sleeping. Mateo dropped the key in the bucket filled with cold water and told Carter to get it. But he couldn't touch the water or use anything to pull the key out. That night, Carter slept in the guest room. How did he get the key?
What was the rules again?
Couldn't touch the... Oh, here we go. Let's go back.
He challenged Carter to get the key to the guest room where the guy was supposed to be sleeping. Mateo dropped the key in the bucket filled with cold water and told Carter to get it. But he couldn't touch the water or use anything to pull the key out. That night, Carter slept in the guest room. How did he get the key?
It's filled with cold water?
Yeah. You can't touch the water or put anything in to grab the key.
You can't touch the water? You can't lift the bucket?
My thing is just dump it out.
Yeah, then that's obvious.
Yeah.
That's super obvious.
That's gotta be the answer, though.
I feel like something to do with the ice water. Like, hold it out.
He put the bucket over a fire.
That's so dumb. Just dump it out.
I was thinking if it's daytime, you just bring it outside and let it,
Yeah.
let the sun.
Or you just dump it out. because that was not part of the
Right.
rules.
The water started to boil and soon evaporated. After that, Carter picked the key up. Mateo was steamed. Nora was an
Friend, by the way.
Yeah.
insurance agent. Once, her client called her early in the morning. The woman was in tears. At night, someone had broken into her house. By the time the woman had enough courage to go downstairs, the thief had already taken all the valuables. When she looked out of the window, the man was running away. "Do you remember what he looked like?" Nora asked. The client answered, "It was still dark outside. I understood it was a man, tall and thin. He had dark hair and was wearing a V-neck t-shirt." Nora immediately realized her client had staged the burglary. How did she figure it out?
All right, I'm gonna have to watch that again.
I'm pretty sure I know it.
Was in tears. At night, someone had broken into her house. By the time the woman had enough courage to go downstairs, the thief had already taken all the valuables. When she looked out of the window, the man was running away. "Do you remember what he looked like?" Nora asked. The client answered, "It was still dark outside. I understood it was a man, tall and thin. He had dark hair and was wearing a V-neck t-shirt." Nora immediately realized her client had staged the burglary. How did she figure it out?
Pretty obvious.
Well, I don't know this one.
You don't know it?
How are you able to? If it's dark, how are you able to know what shirt he's wearing and what color his hair is?
Well, yeah, but the biggest thing is he's running away, right?
Mhm.
How do you know it's a V-neck?
Right.
That's what I believe the answer will be.
It was dark, and the man was running away from the client's house. Then how could the woman see he was wearing a V-neck t-shirt? Beats me.
I think these were too easy.
Yeah, some of them were. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. But my brain was like, oh, these are gonna be some hard ones, you know?
Yeah, they were not very hard.
These were
So,
pretty easy.
Yeah. Anyways, y'all, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If not, you can give it a thumbs down. It's not going to hurt me, but it's not going to hurt you to hit the thumbs up. I hope each and every one of y'all have an absolutely fantastic day. Please do subscribe if you're new or you haven't yet. It does help out the channel. We're almost at 50,000, which is absolutely crazy to me that there's that many people that even care about watching some videos of mine. I hope each and every one of y'all have an absolutely wonderful day or night. And as always, until next time, YouTube, smile like you mean it. From the Bushy Beard.